there's a bit of backstory here, which some of you will be aware of, some of you won't be aware of. But at some point last year, on Adadad's stream, he oh, excellent Sparkle. Are you working? On Adadad's stream last year, he started talking about this album he wanted to make as a child, not a child, as a youth, as a 18 when he was in college, basically. And then we had this idea where we tried make that album. I haven't made that album, but the process of when we did basically we started a bunch of songs and then never finished them. But that got me interested in figuring out how to record. So after like last, however, it's been 9 months, I've been experimenting, trying to figure out how to record stuff. This is why I started a bit late today. I'm just feeling quite nervous about sharing this with you all. It's a weirdly personal thing. And I'm a bit like I'm doubting if I should do it now, to be honest. My gut is saying, "Oh, let's not. Let's do a bit more tweaking. Let's do a bit more tweaking before we do it." So the album I feel sick. I feel sick. I've told people it's happening. This is the other thing. I haven't built it up in any way. I've not done any like, next week I will be doing this. I've tried to keep it completely under the radar because I'm so nervous about it. My hand. You see it shaking. So the album is called Grown Up. Where straight away just saying the name of it makes me go, ooh. Mac has no emotions, not even shame. I'd love to see those sketches. I used to make sketches once upon a time when I was a wee lad. Showed one on this stream, in fact, at one point, I think. Bread on toast. So yeah, it's called Grown Up. The sketches were great. There you go. Sounds too mature for me. Grown. It does sound. It's horrible. I'm not used to sharing sincere things. So yeah, it's called Grown Up. I think the title kind of gives you an idea of what it's all about. The themes that have vulnerability is very grown up. That's right, Fluffy. That is exactly right. I hope you're having a nice Fluffy. Do I do it? It seems really soon. I mean, do I let more? This is the thing as well. I don't know if I should wait for more people to be here. Or would that make it harder? Do I just rip off the plaster? Just dive in. Just dive in. Hang on a second. Hang on, it's not playing through the right. If you don't give an X Duncan a thing. Releasing music is a hard thing to do. Well, I don't know about that. Okay. Okay, we're ready. Ugh. So yeah, it's a sound effects album. It's a collection of different groans and sighs. So there was track 1. Did you hear it there? Track 1 is when you track 1 is trying to open the freezer just after you've closed it. Ugh. Oh no, sorry, I've got that wrong. I've got my Oh my god. I got the track listing wrong. The first track is getting into a bath that's slightly too hot. Oh, I've accidentally looped it. How do I get rid of that? Don't know about Audacity. Ugh. So yes, that was getting into a bath that is slightly too hot. Yes, fluffy pink blonde. Yes, that's it. Groan up. Grown up. Correct. Track 2. That's opening the fridge when you think there's passata in there, and it turns out you did actually have to get more passata. You had to get more passata. Listen, is that getting? Track 3. Lifting up a massive bag of sand. Track 4. Oh, it's gone back to the beginning. Sorry. Track 4. Track 4 is trying to remove a tight pair of trousers. In brackets, caught on massive calves. That one. Next track. That's sitting down to watch TV, but then realizing it's turned off the plug at the plug, and you have to get back up again. Well, this is that one again. Ugh. Oh wait, it went back to the beginning. It keeps doing that. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, so that there is sitting down to watch something on TV, but realizing it's turned off at the plug and having to get up again. Then we've got some really nice dance tunes there. So yeah, this next one is that was Frasier. I forgot what was this next. I need to listen again so I can remember what this next one is. I believe that one is when you accidentally knock over a plant pot and there's mud all in the carpet, or the soil's in the carpet. That's just that one. That would be I don't know how else to put this. You've sat on something and it's become a part of you. That's you sat on something, it's become a part of you. And then the closing. You got to close it out with a big one, haven't you? You got to close it out with a big one. Oh no! I think we can all guess what that one might be. I think we all know what this one is. Oh no! Is that before it was a fart? Don't be so crude. So crude. This one. Oh no. Is trying to escape through a window that's slightly too small. I don't know what you were all thinking. But thank you everyone for being so supportive. Like we say, it's difficult to share your art and be vulnerable like that. To, something I've been working on for months and months. Has taken up so much of my time. Premature defenestration. That, I might change the title. Well, you didn't have to worry at all. This music isn't too cool for you, Sparkle Muffin. These sound effects are too cool for you.